Namaste, Vanakkam, Kemcho, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chai Pe Zoho Books. Zoho Books is a leading cloud-based accounting software and its current trend and future. Now, we have read this everywhere and we have read this in our post and everywhere and ये दिमाग पे छप गया है तो why, how and what? These are the questions which comes in mind कि लीडिंग सॉफ्टवेयर है तो क्यों है, व्हाट इज क्लाउड बेस्ड अकाउंटिंग, क्या इसके फायदे हैं। तो ये काफी सारी क्वेश्चंस है, काफी सारी चीजें हैं जो आज हम इस चाय पे ज़ोहो बुक्स पे करेंगे। सो लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस आवर पैनल। वी हैव मिस तन्वी, फाउंडर ऑफ स्ट्रैटवर्क्स। We have Mr. Ramesh, who is Global Head for Institutions and Training at ZOHO Corporation. And we have Mr. KP Narayanan, who is Director at Program and Strategic Alliances at ZOHO Corporation. So, would you like to say a few words, our panelists?
Thank you, Priyank, for
Ms. Tanvi, you are not audible.
Hello, am I audible now? Yeah, Priyank, can you hear me?
Still not audible.
I'm able to hear you, Tanvi.
Okay, Priyank, please some internet issue at your end.
Not audible. Mr. Ramesh and Mr. KP Narayanan, please can you switch on your camera and microphone? Yeah. Good. I think you are not audible. You all are not audible.
I think I am audible. Tanvi, am I audible? Can you check from your end?
I can everyone's also, but
am I audible?
You are audible.
Still, I am not able to hear anyone's voice. Just a second. Yeah, but I'm not able to hear anyone's voice.
Priyank, can you just put everyone on mute and check? I think there is some connectivity issue too.
sorry for keeping everyone waiting. He is just joining back some internet issue, I guess. So we'll just wait for 2 minutes to join him back. People are also still joining.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Now is audible. Now it's audible. Yes.
I think we can start.
Yeah, we can start. Yes. Where are Mr. Ramesh and KP Narayanan? Yeah. Hello everyone. So we are going to start now. Sorry for the problem occurred. So we'll start. And the first question I think that we should take is like, what are the issues faced by businesses during pandemic and lockdown? When the offices remain closed, how did they manage to complete their day-to-day accounting? Ms. Tanvi, can you answer this question? I mean, can you throw some light on it?
Sure. So, like this is a very, big issue that everybody face. So I think everyone is aware, but then I don't know whether the audience, everyone is from this field. So I will just like explain like what exactly happened during the lockdown is. So maybe few people who had some news from somewhere that there's going to be a big lockdown and all. So they prepared themselves like by taking data backups or taking their systems, laptops at their home and taking their files also so that the work doesn't get hampered. But then majority of the people had no clue actually. They didn't know like what is going to happen tomorrow. Suddenly, they came to know that it's a complete lockdown. Such a lockdown that you can't step out of your house. Your building gate is also locked. That you can't even if your office is just next door, you were not allowed to move out. So in this scenario, like it has adversely affected the businesses. Like the factories were closed, offices were closed, nobody could commute. And in this scenario, it was like मतलब जान की परवाह ज़्यादा थी सबको. Rather than,
Exactly.
it was such a thing that we want to be safe, and people were scared basically. So scared that even after things went back to normal, when many people were hesitant to move out of the house. So even now, also few people are still facing that. But what got at a setback was that accounting, जो अपनी business के related accounting होती है, वो सारी pending रह गई. All the data which was to be maintained physically, जो papers maintain होते हैं, those things were not maintained, and there was a huge backlog. I can say a backlog of a year for a few people, like for small offices, small business owners who were operating at a very low scale, who were operating with very less staff. The staffs went back to their native places, and they had to look for new people. Then the shortage of system, like few people who had only laptop, only systems like PC. So if it's a laptop, it's easy to carry, but when it is a PC, they had to figure out how to manage. And secondly, internet connectivity. Like nowadays, everybody is going to have Wi-Fi, but like if you talk about 2-3 years back, not everyone had Wi-Fi. But now, since this has become the new normal, like this is people have understood over like almost now 1.5 years time that this is going to be our new normal. In this new normal scenario, everybody has tried to adapt to it, tried to change their mindset, and like everybody has Wi-Fi connectivity, everybody has laptops at home, everyone is working from home. They are used to like all the disturbances that come during the working hours, like children are playing and you are talking on phone. So now everybody is slowly getting used to, and this has become now a new normal. But yeah, obviously, still there are few businesses which faced a lot of survival concerns. So now we are actually we need to change. Like, we need to be open to change. That is only one thing which keeps us moving. So this is what I would like to say, Priyank.
Yeah. So basically, इंसान सिचुएशन के हिसाब से अडेप्ट कर ही लेता है at the end.
Right.
Exactly. Huh? Yes, you were speaking.
So the inertia to move to cloud should be changed.
Yeah, completely.
Yes.
Yes. So now, like we have heard that it's a leading cloud-based accounting software. Hello. Yeah. Anyone? Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Continue.
Hello.
Continue, Priyank.
And bam, it's gone. The voice is gone. Hello.
We can hear you, Priyank.
Okay, I'm not able to hear.
It's okay. You can just switch your.
I'm still not able to hear.
Tanvi, I suggest actually you can keep him live on his mobile also. So then even if there is an interruption for connectivity, he
Again,
will
I
be.
think I'll leave and join.
Yeah.
No need.
You can connect. I will just tell him.
Just a second.
So let us actually not waste any time. I think the topic for today, everybody knows Zoho Books. So I would like to ask to explain about like what is cloud-based accounting, and generally people are using a lot of traditional software nowadays. So now, what is the difference between cloud-based accounting and how is it like different from the traditional accounting? So if you can explain that.
Okay. So thank you, Team Stratworks, and thanks for organizing this event and also inviting me as a part of it. So coming to your question, what is cloud accounting and how it is different from traditional accounting? If you do your accounting with the help of internet, it is cloud accounting, like how you use your Facebook, your internet, your WhatsApp, your Instagram. So if you do your accounting with the help of internet, it is cloud accounting. And how it is different from traditional accounting? Everything is different except accounting. So let's think for a while before we proceed with anything further. Let's go for a flashback, probably 15 years back. And let's compare what we were doing earlier and what we are doing today. For instance, let's take the example of recharging our mobile phones. 15 years back, we used the recharge cards to recharge our mobile phones. Just think and answer to yourself, are we doing the same thing now? The second example which I would like to quote is, you call your travel agent to book your flight tickets. Are we doing the same thing now? Just answer to yourself. We went to the taxi stand to hire a taxi. Again, answer to yourself, are we doing the same thing now? Click of a button, the taxi arrives at your doorstep. I would say almost 80 to 90% of our day-to-day routine is handled in the cloud, and why not account? So that's cloud accounting. So though there are multiple things which I can highlight as a different, in the interest of time, I would like to pitch or touch upon few important aspects. The first thing being accessibility. If you're using a traditional accounting system, what happens is you're bound to one particular system. You're stuck to one system. If you want the data, you will have to rely on those. So moving ahead. So I'm getting an echo. Maybe can you mute yourself? Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. So we were discussing about the accessibility issues. If you're using a desktop version or a desktop solution, the traditional ones, you are stuck to one particular system. If you need the data or accessibility to this particular data, you will have to rely on that system. But cloud technology allows you anywhere, anytime, any device access. Think if I give you such restrictions in today's world, okay, needless to say that the global pandemic has made us realize the value of cloud technology. Cloud gives you anytime, anywhere, any device access. You are not bound to your office. In fact, you need not have an office to work. Right from wherever you are, you get access to your client's data, irrespective of the time, irrespective of the device, irrespective of your location. be it the Arctic, Antarctic, or the Pacific, you get access to your client's data, provided you have an internet connection. So moving ahead, you also have the major difference in the technological advancements, which any traditional software can never be par with today's accounting solutions. The key aspect is connected banking. So to understand this connected banking, let me give you an example on this as well. See, there were two devices. The camera, which was meant for photography, and the mobile phone, which was meant for communication. Had I come to you 25 years back and told you that I'm going to integrate these two together, you would have laughed at me. But today, it's a huge success. In fact, the cameras have become the sales of the USPs for the sales of the mobile. So what I mean to say is, the systems that are designed today are not just for that particular purpose, but beyond that. Let's extrapolate the same example in the global context. Okay, you have two systems. You have accounting system as well as banking system. These two are complementary to each other, but they never coexisted in the same platform. How? You created invoice in the accounting system. The payment for this invoice, you received it in the banking system. And again, you shuttle back to the accounting system to record the same. There has never been a link to state that this payment belongs to this particular invoice. There has never been a system. The same applies to bills as well. You created bills in the accounting system. You shuttled to the bank or the bank website in order to make a payment for that. And again, you shuttle back to the accounting system to record the same payment. What if I have forgotten to record the payment? So what I mean to say is, since these two systems were not inside a single platform, we ended up doing a lot of data entry. All of these were susceptible to errors. So this connected banking is a technology which bridges the gap between the accounting system and the banking system. For instance, creating a bank account itself is quite a process. You know, the approval of this depends on the turnover of your business. Though if you're able to get the bank account or the approval done, integrating that with your accounting system becomes impossible, almost impossible, or let me put it in these words, it is the luxury only the corporates enjoy. So this kind of connected banking as a technology, which will automatically feed in all the statements, your bank statements, your client's payments, your vendor payments, everything can be handled from within the accounting system, is made possible only with the traditional, or the cloud technologies that we are having. So that is the advancements. Even your GST filing that you would like to file, the automations like your automated reminders for your customers, your vendors, even your email alerts. Some activity has been performed in your ZOHO Books organization, and you need an automation, like email alert has to be triggered, or you need an in-app notification to be triggered. So all of such automations are the major difference between a traditional accounting system and the cloud advanced technology systems.
Amazing. Good. So, Mr. Narayanan, is Zoho Books a leading accounting software? Like, you are connected to Zoho since a very long time. So, we would like to hear it from you, a brief background about Zoho Corporation.
Thank you, Priyank, and thank you, Tanvi and team, for organizing this fantastic event. In fact, I'm very happy that one of the PA who is associated with for a long time has initiated such things. So, see, this will also the seminars like this will also.
Hello. Yeah, there must be a technical problem from his side. He'll rejoin. Don't worry, he'll answer that question. He'll tell you everything about how vision and how the product, they have idea behind the product. Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
Sorry, it was disconnected.
It's no problem, sir. Yeah. You can continue, sir.
Now? Okay. So I was just saying, thank you very much for organizing such things, and you have to have similar discussion in future also. Not only restricting yourself to cloud accounting, but you have got many more subjects to discuss in the days to come. And coming back to Zoho. It's a 25-year-old startup. I would like to call that way, because I still remember in 1996 when I was on the verge of starting my career, I heard about this through some of my colleagues, ex-colleagues and friends, that this company is started with probably less than 10 employees in the outskirts of Chennai. It was initially named as Bamboo Systems Private Limited, and later it was changed to AdvanNet. Then this company started growing, and probably in the 2000s, it was changed to Zoho Corporation as its name. And apart from Zoho, we have got two more companies. One is called Manage Engine, and Manage Engine basically providing complete solution to all IT management problems. And the second one is WebNMS. We have in fact started WebNMS as our first company, then followed it by Manage Engine and Zoho. And WebNMS basically deals with Internet of Things for smart and connected enterprises. This is what about the organization is. And this company, right from the day one, it is profitable, and there is no venture capitalist, there is no VC funding in this company. It's all our own money, and this is bootstrapped and profitable. And we have very slowly built up this organization. And the idea is, I have, in fact, before joining Zoho, I was working in so many other companies. I think probably this is my 25 year of career span. This is probably the 8th company which I am working here. But I'm a hardcore sales and distribution guy. But I have never in my career come across a fantastic the way the company functions, the thought process that the chairman has, and all those things. And anything which is not going to be, which is going to be real challenging, it is not worthy of spending time, we will not be venturing into that. So that is also one of the reasons. And if we have taken up some assignments or something in which we are really putting our heart and soul into it, then yes, we ensure that even if it consumes time, we make it a success. So that is the success story of Zoho. So today, if you look at, we have got more than 50 plus products available with us, and I represent me and Rami both are representing Zoho Finance suite of products, which comprises of ZOHO Books, which is an accounting software and GST compliant for India. And we have payroll, we have inventory management solution, we have expense, which will simplify your travel requirement, end-to-end travel process. It will take care. And we have subscription application called Zoho Subscription, which will manage the subscription model business. And we have Checkout, which is a payment gateway. And we have Zoho Invoice, which we have released free of cost very recently. So Zoho Invoice is available for free of cost globally, and anyone who is interested in using this product can go online and sign on that. And a bundle of all these products called Zoho Finance Plus. So this is what I have to talk about Zoho. And we have about 14 offices across globe, 2 in India, 3 in India probably. We have in Chennai, our corporate office. We have in Tenkashi, we have in Tirupati, you must have heard a place. And we have in US, we have two offices in US. We have in United Arab Emirates, we have in China, we have in Japan. So it is spread across. We still think in the days to come, we will be opening a lot more companies. And one more thing I would like to endorse here, like Tanvi was talking about, the working from remote locations and all. So I was actually wondering, for the last 1.5 years, we have been working in remote locations only, even when we were in the office. So all these tools which will help the entities to take care of the remote working. So especially in Mumbai, one rain, it goes. Mumbai is shut, right? So people assume people who have to travel from Virar to Churchgate, and the business which is operated in probably in Lower Parel area or Andheri or Churchgate, see, they will not be able to accommodate people, no, because of the rain, and it is completely interrupted. So this is where the cloud applications play a major role, wherein you will be able to control everything sitting up at your home or wherever you are. So I used to say, 2-3 years back when I used to travel abroad, and I have seen people in Dubai and we used to carry our laptop to our office in the typical office, which I'm talking about. Today, we are carrying our office in our laptop. So I would like to put it in that way. So this is what I have to talk about Zoho. And we are also experimenting a lot of things like, I have been hearing right from my childhood through eminent personalities like the chunk is in villages. When you talk about India, which is not really explored. So we are also on the verge of empowering a lot of people in remote villages across India. We have started already in Tamil Nadu. We have opened small offices in villages in Tamil Nadu. We have started recruiting people from the nearby villages and empowering them. And this is what we are exactly doing for a society, and this is what I have to talk about.
So good to hear that, sir. So good to hear that you are doing such great work at Zoho. Like, how can one decide to make a shift from traditional accounting to cloud-based accounting, like cloud accounting software? Miss Tanvi, can you please put light on that?
Sure. So it's actually deciding, like as I mentioned, change is very important. But at the same time, when there is change, people actually resist a lot, fear a lot. That if I change, what will happen? Like that decision itself, takes a lot of courage. Like suppose you are all set in your current accounting system, the traditional accounting software, whatever you are using. And suddenly, suppose your management decides that no, from tomorrow you're not going to use this, you're going to use this software. So it's already it's a mindset problem that यार फिर से सीखना पड़ेगा, सब data यहाँ से वहाँ डालना पड़ेगा. So like mentally also people have to be very much prepared. So for management perspective, I would say first thing is you analyze, like you decide why you want to change. Do you really require this change to be done? If you have decided, you have a set of problems, this is the issues that I'm facing in the current system. You look for a system, you explore the options in the market that, so many other softwares are available. You want to go for cloud. So you search, there are many cloud-based accounting softwares which are available. You check out the features, check out the costing, like whether it is fitting in your budget or not. What is the monthly payment that you need to make, or what is the yearly payment you need to make? You list down the features, you map it with your current requirements and your current pain points, basically. So once you have done that and you have decided, this is the ideal software. One more thing you can do is generally nowadays, mostly all the softwares are providing a trial period. Like even Zoho is providing a very good trial period of 14 days, which can be further extended to more 14 days. So you almost have 1 month's time to explore the entire software. Like you during that 1 month, what one can do is run parallelly two systems. Like one is your live data and one is the trial data. You maintain both, you try the features, you see which version or which module you want to use. After you have done all of it, then you can just decide and take with the help of some Zoho partner, or you can even do it yourself. So based on this, you have to first make a decision, educate the team, because your team is the one who's going to work on it. Right? It cannot be a single-handed decision of the management that from tomorrow you use Zoho, use some XYZ software. You have to take your team into consideration and explain them, train them, and only then it will be a successful implementation or a shift from one traditional, because traditional is something which is everything. I would suggest everything is manual. You need to explain your team that how it is going to help them, how it is going to save their own time. Like when Ramesh was talking about the connected banking, I really love this feature. because it saves time like anything. You need not log into your bank account. You need not even have this issue to make single payments. You can just open Zoho and select the vendors and make the payment right away. So it is going to save so much time. You need not even I can say you should not even do the bank entries. So if you explain your team that this is what you're going to get out of this change, I'm very sure they will be happy to accept it and put time in getting themselves trained and getting acquainted to the entire software. So for any software, I mean, if you explain them what is the benefit to them, I'm pretty sure that they will be easily adapting to it. And Zoho is such a user-friendly software. Like since we are using, like my entire team is using Zoho, we feel that it is at tip of our fingertips. Like you can just play around. Like even if it's my junior staff, the junior staff will be able to learn it very, very fast. So this is it.
Amazing. Good to hear that it is easy to implement, and of course it's a teamwork, not a single man work. So yeah, good to understand that thing. Mr. Ramesh, Zoho Books is a global product. However, how does the country specific taxation and compliance related requirements get fulfilled in Zoho Books?
Okay. Yes, Zoho Books is a global product, and we have our customers across 160 plus countries using Zoho Books. So how this is defined is we have country specific tax editions for different countries. So how this is decided is, let's say there is a user or a customer going to sign up for Zoho Books. So their country that they choose when they are signing up decides the edition. For example, let's say someone from India is going to sign up for Zoho Books and they have given their country, the business country location as India. In such cases, the GST version, so Indian GST, that gets enabled for them, and all of the operations and whatever you perform will be adaptable to the GST version. So how this is being decided is, let's say you create a particular item in Zoho Books. So if it's a GST version, automatically the system will prompt you to configure both the interstate tax as well as the intrastate tax to a single item. And also when you create your contacts, be it your customers or your vendors, the system will ask you to configure the GST treatment of this particular contact. So what happens is when you create a transaction, let's say invoice or bills, so you will be choosing the particular customer or a vendor in the invoice or bill. And you will also be choosing the item. So what the system does is, the system will compare your location or your state with the state of the customer or the vendor, and it will automatically assign the intrastate tax or interstate tax. Basically your GST or IGST, and the tax calculations are also done automatically, so you can have your transactions done. Not just that, once you have created your transactions, the journals for that will be automated. And once the journals are automated, it gets reflected in your reporting, and also the format which you require as a GST component in order to do your GST filing, that also becomes simplified for you because you get an automated format or report for GST filing. So that's the reason why you are able to file your GST from within the accounting system just with few clicks away. Okay, so this is related to the GST part. So continuing further, on top of all of these, you also have e-invoicing functionality. Like you will be in a position to push your invoices to the IRP in order to generate the QR code as well as the IRN number for your e-invoicing. Even that could be done, and you can handle the status of that if you want to cancel that. All of these will be defined with the help of the status that is associated with any particular transaction. So even those things you can handle it. E-way bills. So for any transaction whose total is more than 50,000, you automatically get an option to add the e-way bill details or create an e-way bill directly from within your accounting system. You can associate that with the invoice, and this gets reflected in your e-way bill portal also. So though there are multiple portals like GST portal, IRP, your e-way bill portal. So all of these are configured or integrated with each other with the help of Zoho Books. And if you want to handle TDS and TCS along with your payments that you record, so that also could be recorded, and the report for that is also will be made available for you for further processing. So likewise, right from your customer handling and the items till your GST filing and further processing of your reports for your analytics, everything is handled from within that. So this is for the Indian version. So just to give you a brief introduction about the Indian version, how things are handled. So I can just give you a heads up on this. The same applies to the other countries also. Let's say if it is UAE, you have the VAT, the UAE VAT. If it is Saudi, again, you have the Saudi VAT. For Australian GST or US, the sales tax for the United States. So based on whatever the country that you choose, and you can focus on your transaction, the system will take care of your tax compliance part, and this will simplify your process. So that is how we handle different editions for different countries, though we have a lot of editions available. So for rest of the countries, like let's say there is a country like Singapore, okay, for which we don't have a country specific edition, but still you can use Zoho Books for them. So what happens to them, or which edition gets enabled for them? So for whichever countries we have the country specific tax edition, the appropriate versions get enabled. For the other countries, the global version, we have a universal global edition for the other countries, in which you create your own taxes and you can handle your day-to-day transaction and apply taxes on that. So for such countries, you have the global edition handled for that. So this is how we, as a product, handle all of our clients across globe.
Hello. Yes. So basically, we choose a country and automatically system loads everything according to that.
Right.
Thank you so much. So nowadays we hear a lot about paperless office, like no papers at office at all. Like that is even possible. Like what exactly is a paperless office? Like can we implement this in Zoho Books? Mr. Narayanan,
No,
can you throw some light on it?
Yes, I would like to talk about paperless office in a broader perspective. Okay.
Yes.
Paperless in its literal sense, it is not exactly paperless. I don't agree that everything can be if the government requirement is as such that you have to document everything in paper, then you require a paper. But what I can relate here is, see, I have a partner based out of Delhi. So 4 or 5 years back, I was speaking to him, and I visited his office, and he was operating it from around 2,500 square feet of. It's a bigger space, okay. And he used to have a lot of files, which is, the accountability of those files are about 25 years back, related to 25 years back. So, and 3 years back, I happened to go to his place, and he said, I have moved on to a 250 square feet of area, and people are operating from their respective places, and very rarely people used to commute to their office. So in this process, I would like to talk about two things. One is the digitalization, and the second one is digitization. So let me talk about digitization. See, digitization is nothing but it is the process of converting information into a digital format. For example, you have a photograph which need to be scanned, or you have some documents, an application form, or uploaded to somewhere. So all this thing can be converted into a digital format, and it will be stored in your computer or hard disk or whatever you call. So here you can see what is paperless. No, it is paperless. It's all in digital format. Okay, right. So, and see, one thing you should remember is the data will not be lost. The data will be there only. Data will not be lost at any point of time. The digitalization is the converting the entire business process into a digital technology, over to digital technology. There are two different things, right? So the basic thing required here is, like, I always talk about three things that is required. One is tool sets, skill set, and the third one is mindset. So the tool set it's already available in the market. Like companies like us are providing tools for you to operate. So as I was mentioning you earlier, Zoho uses the entire applications of Zoho within our office. That's how we were very comfortable, and it was very easy for us to move to work from home atmosphere even before the lockdowns were announced in 2020 March. So this is one thing. The second thing is I would talk about the skill set. So how do you develop your skill set? Unless you break your mindset, that is not going to happen. So it is both skill sets and mindset, it is interrelated. So you break your mindset, you have to open up and start exploring something. Recently I read an article about a bird. I think you all must have heard, or please note it down and just Google it, you will come to know. There is a bird called barn swallow, BARNSWALLOW, barn swallow. So it's actually the habitation is somewhere in Northeast America, Canada, and all. But I read an interesting thing saying that annually it flies from California to Argentina, and Argentina back to California over Pacific Ocean. Okay, and it's about 8,000 kilometers one side. So 8,000 plus, he breeds there and it comes back. 8,000 plus 8,000 kilometers it travels. I know that, you know, the size of that bird, it is only 8 inches. So I was imagining like how it sleeps, how it is eating, how it is taking rest. So a lot of questions were put were in front of me. So I just kept on reading all these things, and it carries a log piece, it seems, in his mouth, and whenever it wants to take rest, it just drops it that in the sea and it sits there. And again, when it wants to fly, again it carries that again, and like that it will have its own consumption from the sea itself, or ships, or whichever travels across. So I was actually thinking, like, when a bird of 8 inch, which is can do such wonders, like traveling 8,000 kilometers from California to Argentina and Argentina to back, where are we? So we have to change our mindset. So for setting up this process, all these things, and whether it is digitalization or digitization, so you need a lot of applications to help you out. Okay, so all these applications are available. See, for example, if you come to Zoho, when you are a startup, right? So if you want to start a company, you should have a website. So where will I have my website? So we have applications which will help you creating a website. Once you create the website, then you have to recruit people. So we have 3 phases, right? Pre-recruitment, onboarding employees, and management of employees, right? So pre-recruitment, we have got applications which is like Zoho Recruit, which takes care of the recruitment process, complete recruitment process. So once your employee is on board, then you require Zoho People kind of applications which will help you manage the people. And the third one is like you have to take care of the payroll processing and all those things, for which we have applications. And once the employees are on board, then what tools you will provide them? You should provide tools. So it can be for your internal communication, it can be for your communicating within the team, communicating outside the team, communicating outside the organizations. Today, for everything we use WhatsApp kind of applications or send it in mail. So see, I was just my routine checking of mail, I found that 90% of the mail or 95% of the mails I receive in my inbox are junk. This is what exactly today's review. So going forward, I think probably 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, the dependency on the mail will be lost. If you take example of Zoho itself, we communicate through Click, we communicate through Connect, which will connect the 10,000 plus employees of our organization. So the communication is much faster. So we use mails only when you communicate externally, because I cannot expect my partner or other companies who is receiving my mails to have a Click kind of application. So that is the opportunity which you have in front of you. So you are providing these tools. I can say there is an application called Workplace Cloud. It's through a single window, one single login, you will be able to see your 100 mails. You can communicate through your colleagues. You can schedule your meetings. You will have this Connect, which will connect the employees. Everything is available in that. You can manage your task, manage your calendar. Everything is available there. And there is work drive kind of thing wherein you will be able to store all your files scanned and there. And you don't necessarily, you need not necessarily require to travel to your client's place, or nor you need to entertain your client at your place. Everything, everybody can operate from their office itself. So if you adopt all this applications for your firm, so this is what we say, it's a paperless office. Probably we can change the terminology, you know, like office, remote office. It will help you manage your entire thing remotely.
Yeah.
Priyank, you are on mute.
Priyank, you are not audible yet.
Yeah, hello. Now I'm audible. Sorry, I just didn't unmute myself. So even I think that paperless offices are a good idea. And I think that nowadays most of the companies are shifting to that particular idea, that they are shifting from paper to paperless thing, communicating through Google Meet and Zoho Meet and every other kind of platforms available. Even meetings are held online now. So
yes, that's what exactly Tanvi was mentioning.
Yeah, exactly. So since every just a second now. So people are using many different applications nowadays, like other payment gateways or commercial websites like Amazon, eBay, Flipkart. So is it even possible to have integrations with accounting systems? Mr. Ramesh, can you answer this question?
Okay. So I thought you will ask this to Tanvi and you have directed it to me. Okay. Okay, basically about integration. See,
Yeah.
in our business operations, we have multiple requirements, okay, for our multiple functionalities, for which we use multiple software from multiple vendors. So many multiples, okay. So what happens is, for example, let's say you use accounting and you go for a different vendor solution. And you want to handle CRM, you go for a different vendor solution, whatever is prominent in the market. And for HRM, you opt for a different vendor, or payroll, you handle it in a different software. So when all of these things are handled with multiple vendor as a solution, what happens is the problem comes when you try to integrate these with each other. Because we have recently done a research, and the research says the software is to the integration spend is of the ratio 1:8, which means you spend 8 times more than what you have spent for the actual product. Okay, so this integration becomes a hectic part when you go with multiple vendors. If you're going with a single vendor, for example, let's say Zoho applications, no, it is not just Zoho books that we have. We have around 65 plus products, and in the next 6 months or 1 year, you will expect around 90 applications that we are running. Okay, so in which Zoho books is just one amongst that. So if you want to integrate one system with other Zoho applications, the integration becomes seamless and it is just few clicks away. I would say it hardly takes 30 seconds to 1 minute, or even few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, in order to do your integration. Can you expect that from any other solutions or any other vendor who has multiple requirements? Okay, you use inventory for a particular functionality of yours, you use Zoho books, you use Zoho expense for your automation of your employee reimbursements, you use payroll, all of these are integrated. So you do one thing in one system, automatically it gets updated in the other system. You create an item in Zoho inventory, it gets updated as an item in Zoho books. You raise an invoice in Zoho books, the item gets adjusted in Zoho inventory. So one system will take care of everything if the integration becomes seamless for you, and we don't even collect even a single penny extra for any of the integrations within Zoho. And we also have direct integrations also. For that, let me touch upon the payment integration. Priyank spoke about the payment gateways that we are discussing. See, payment gateways, if you have a payment gateway account, assume that Priyank is my customer. Okay, if I have an account in Razorpay or ICICI EasyPay, I can integrate that directly with few clicks away from my accounting system. So the moment I have integrated it, if I raise an invoice to you, I can also share a payment link along with that particular invoice. It is not the invoice that is going to be sent. It will be the invoice plus the payment gateway link, which could be shared to you. Clicking off that, you can initiate the payment. And when you are initiating a payment to me, you will get multiple options in order to trigger the payment. Whether it is debit card, credit card, whether it is UPI, cash, NEFT, RTGS, whatever it is, you can choose. In fact, giving multiple options to your customer will trigger the payments faster. So you have this option to give multiple options, and you can handle your customer payments. Once, assume Priyank has made the payment to me, okay, clicking on that particular payment link. The status of the invoice gets converted. The journals for that will be automatically posted for whatever the payment that I have received, and the corresponding reports gets affected on a real time. The GST components are also fetched on a real time basis. So one work that you do, the rest of the things are automated. The same could be applied for vendor payments also. We have integration with ICICI, Standard Chartered, HDFC, Yes Bank, a lot more are yet to come. If you have a current account in any of these banks, you can integrate that with Zoho Book. So what happens is, if you have an outstanding bill for a particular vendor, you need not go or swap your screen to a particular website or your bank website or even to your bank in order to make the payment. You see any outstanding bill, just click off a button, you can initiate the payment. So you will automatically get an option for all your outstanding bills. Pay via ICICI, pay via Standard Chartered. You click that, enter the amount from your bank account will be transferred to the vendor bank account. The status of the bill gets converted. The corresponding journals will be posted. The reports are getting affected on a real time. The GST components are fixed. Everything is ready. So you just initiated the payment. The rest of the things are automated, which you can never expect in any of the traditional software. Coming to the third party integration. So I would like to touch upon the Uber integration that we have. Assume that I am a business. Okay, and I send my employees to the field. So whenever they travel a lot, my sales team, they travel a lot in the field, I allow them to take the Uber access or Uber travel, Uber taxi. So end of the month, I'll have to, as a company, I'll have to make the payment for whatever my employees have traveled. So if I have a Uber business account, I can integrate that with ZOHO Books. So what happens is, throughout the month, my employees would have taken the travel. So from Uber, I will be receiving a monthly statement. Boss, these are the travel history that your employees have taken. This is the amount that you will have to pay me. So Uber will be sending that statement to me. So if you have done that integration, what happens is, this statement will be fetched and it will be automatically converted into a bill, and you will have that inside their accounting system. Again, if you have connected your current account with your banking system, I mean your accounting system, you can close that bill with a click of a button. The amount gets transferred and the bill gets closed. Okay, so this is with regards to the Uber integration, and all of these integrations that we are talking is direct integration that we have. Everything is available. All you need to do is give the corresponding credentials and just integrate it with few clicks and few minutes away. I repeat that point again and again. And if assume that we don't have a direct integration at all, if you go to integration section, you don't find any integration at all with the required software of yours, for example. Even in such cases, you will be able to do the integrations, because in ZOHO Books, all our APIs are open. At any point of time, if you want our APIs to be handled, you can handle it. You get the access to that. If you have the API access to the other system which you would like to integrate, you get the access to that. Our APIs are always open. With these APIs, you will be able to integrate these two. So any kind of integration, 99.9% of the times we'll be able to make that possible. That is related to integration. I think the question is answered. Thank you.
Yeah. Completely understood. It's pretty much interesting and new for me. So I was listening very keenly, and by that, it was. I think that it's easy to integrate and have everything at one single place, and I think that's the benefit of it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, Ms. Tanvi, you must have helped so many businesses, both startups and big giants, to implement Zoho Books. So how difficult, or rather I would say how easy it is to implement?
So I would say that it is not at all difficult. Like we have been working with Zoho for the last 5 years as Zoho partner, and we have done numerous integrations of migrations or implementations, training programs. So during all this, what we observed is Zoho gives you a very open platform, as Ramesh mentioned. If you see, I think there's some echo. Priyank, if you can just mute yourself. Yeah. So basically, implementation process and timelines, all those things are very low. You can say the cost-wise also, it is very cost-effective. The way Zoho has kept its costing or the features, you pick and choose. Like if you want to have a lower features, you pay only for those features. If you want to have additional advanced features, then only you spend a little more based on the features that you want. And secondly, like I have seen so many entrepreneurs and startups who have on their own implemented Zoho, like without taking any help of any consultant or anyone from Zoho's side, only by watching the help of the videos which are available, which are the help documents available, the FAQs, and through the partner support team, the entrepreneurs are able to do it. Like even somebody from a non-finance background, I would say, like somebody who's not an accountant or who does not know accounting, can actually just follow the steps and use Zoho Books. Like I have seen. So this is like such a seamless process that anybody can implement Zoho. And just in case if the processes are complicated, like you want to have a professional help, then Zoho has a very good partner network. Like in each location, like state-wise or city-wise, country-wise, they have so many partners who are helping, like may not be a chartered accountant, not necessarily a chartered accountant. If you take the required, training process, you qualify the conditions that they have, you can also become a Zoho partner. Basically, if you need a support system, is a big network. Like you just Google it and you will find the location where you put that I am in Maharashtra. You will find a list of people who are ready to help you to implement. And I would just like to just highlight on what the process goes, like generally how we do the implementation. First thing is very important is we understand what is the business requirement, like what are the requirements. Based on that, we suggest which product will suit that requirement. Like even in books, there are versions. It's a very standard version is there, premium, professional, elite, ultimate. So there are so many versions available based on your requirements. So if you need a very high level feature, like some you want to have a priceless feature, or you want to have a serial number tracking feature, or you want to have say 10 users, you want to have 15 users, 25 users. So based on your requirement, we choose a product. After we choose a product, we collect information from the client that whatever has to be migrated. It is possible that sometimes people want to migrate last 1 full year's data. So even that is possible, and it is not at all time consuming, because Zoho is giving you an import export option using Excel. Like if you're using an XYZ system, you export from your system all your records. You just make some modification, transform it in the format that the Zoho accepts, and you can easily import and get all your data migrated to the Zoho platform. So it is really very seamless and automated at the same time. So if there is a bulk entry, you need not sit and pass, like you need not appoint 10 people to do the data entry. You just export and just work on the data to make it compatible and then import it. So it is really very, very easy. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier also, whenever there's a change, training is a very important portion. So partner trainings are also there. Like we as partners, we provide a lot of trainings. Like we have done many trainings in the past. And during the phase of implementation where there are 1 or 2 employees, I think they can manage on their own also if they watch the videos, because what Zoho has the feature is in each section. Like if you open invoicing, there is a video tab. You click on the video, watch the video, like how to create an invoice. In few minutes, you will be able to try it out and complete it. So it's just a matter of, how dedicatedly you are doing it. If you are doing it in that systematic manner, you will be able to implement it yourself also without any support. So training is also. Yeah, you are saying something?
It's only one-time exercise, I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, it's only a one-time exercise. And once you are hands-on, like once you have got a hand, like suppose if you have seen about the invoicing, if you know invoicing, you will know purchase billing also, because it's the same process you need to follow. So it's really very easy. And once you are live and when you start using, you will get the hang of it and you will be able to implement. So this is how the implementation process goes. So I hope I've answered you.
Amazing. I don't know what's happening. It's unmuting by itself. Unmuting by itself. I'm really sorry for that. So, so what kind of internal controls are available in Zoho Books? Mr. Ramesh, can you answer this?
Ramesh, you're on mute.
You're on mute. Yeah. Am I audible now? Yeah. Okay. See, control as a word, I mean, it is it has a wider context. So I would like to touch upon a few of the restrictions and the controls that we have enabled for our users, basically. So let me start with the login restrictions. Right from the login, we'll start with the login and we'll take it forward. So as far as login is concerned, you know that for any user to access a particular account, they'll have to have their user limitations. That is your email ID and the credentials for which you will have to post it in order to log in. First thing, and also you can have IP restrictions. Assume that more than the user ID and the password, if you want it to be restricted or the access to be restricted in a particular IP, you can also do that under the settings. Okay. So this is with regards to login. Okay. Coming to the user controls, you can restrict somebody based on the user and role that you define it for a particular user. Because whenever it's a multi-user solution, you can invite your customer or your client or your accountant from any part of the world to any part of the world. So it is being handled across the globe. So let your client be from any part of the world. All you need to do is just invite him as a one of the user creating the org. He gets access to your accounting system and he can take care of all his day-to-day transactions. So not all my employees working in my organization will get access to everything. So I can restrict that. How? I have module-wise restriction. So in Zoho, we have a functionality to customize the roles. Let's say I have a salesperson for whom I need not give the access to all the data, whatever is running inside my organization, what is my profit, what is my loss. I need not give him access to everything. As a salesperson, he is supposed to take care of the sales part. So I will customize a role in the name of a salesperson, giving him access only to the sales module. Or for each and every module, you can define whether you allow him to create it or we'll start from the scratch. Either only to view it or edit it, create it, delete it. You can configure with the help of just checking those options, so that as a salesperson, if you are giving me that particular access, I will get access only to those for which you have permitted me to. Other things will not be available for me. So this more or less increases the delegation of work, so that all of your actions or your whatever is happening within your organization, it becomes a smooth process. The delegation is done, and it also increases the productivity within your organization. So the sales team will take care of the sales part. The purchase team will be taken care by the purchase department. So moving one step ahead. So this is user-wise restrictions. We also have transaction approvals. So if you want to restrict someone or enable someone approval of options, like somebody is creating a transaction in Zoho, okay, all of a sudden it could not be sent to a particular customer. So if you want to restrict this transaction to be sent by approval process. You can have the approval. You can decide who has to be the approver. Even if it is a multi-level approver, you can configure who is the level 1, who is the level 2, who is the level 3. You can configure those levels of approvals so that whenever an invoice is created, it has to pass through this approval flow. Only after all of these people have approved it, it could be sent to a particular customer. The same applies to bill. Okay, probably the sales manager or the purchase manager could be could be having the approval authority for all of these transactions. So any transaction or anything to be accounted, it has to be approved, and only then it can be accounted or even sent or shared to the customer or the vendor. So this is with regards to approval systems. Going one step ahead again, we have transaction locking as a function. So this transaction locking, I can divide this into two. One is module-wise locking and all locking. I have separated this as a two functionality. So module-wise locking is you can freeze something or freeze a particular module. Assume that you are done with your bank reconciliation, okay, or your sales auditing is done. You want to freeze the sales module. You can do it module-wise. So whether it is sales or banking or purchases, so this module-wise transaction locking can freeze it based on a particular time frame. And if you want all of these to be locked at one go, that is freezing all your transactions within a particular time, maybe your auditing is done and you want to freeze everything, so you can rely on all transaction locking, so which will freeze everything. So there are two ways of doing it: module-wise locking, all locking. So this is the thing. And apart from that, you also have audit trials, which the government insists you to have it as a mandatory thing, at least from the next year. Okay, so whatever is happening in your organization, somebody is creating something, somebody is deleting, editing, okay, somebody has done something, everything will be tracked in the form of logs. You have activity logs as well, which will have a track of all of these, so that the transparency in your organization will increase. So these are the different levels of controls that we have in Zoho Books assets. I think I'm done with the controls.
Perfect. Amazing. So since everything is going to be on cloud, entrepreneurs may have a concern about their data security. So is my data secure over cloud, whether the data will be lost, or if it's saved or backed up, where will it be kept? Can you throw some light, Mr. Narayan?
Yes. If we have to talk about data security, we can keep on discussing. So even today, when we talk about, forget about data, when we talk about security today, are we safe today? Is my data secured at my office? I have paper, and I was talking about paperless office. Let us have an office with papers. Is it safe? Or if I have a desktop software, is it safe? Is the information leaking? Is the reports are going outside? Do we have any control over that? My answer will be 99.9%. We will not be having any organization for that matter. They may not have a proper control over that. And coming to data security and safety, like you see, recently I was I was about to buy some clothes, so I had been to a mall. So as soon as before getting into that mall, I just prior to that I had visited one Reliance Trends. Okay. So when I was stepping into that mall the next day, then immediately I am getting an SMS saying that offer in Max and offer in Pantaloon. Lot of other companies' text messages are coming to me, which means how do they know that I am about to buy those clothes for myself? This is number one. When I apply for a personal loan, physically going to the bank, forget about internet application, physically going to the bank, I apply for a loan. The next day, there are 10, 15 finance companies are calling me over phone and asking me whether I require a personal loan. So then there is some problem with the data leaking, right? So it is also depend on what kind of service providers you have hired to take care of your data. The data can be stored either in your laptop, or you will have your private service. You will hire a space and then store your data there. For example, we as a service provider, so you are assuming that you have all the data in Zoho's application. So then what will happen to that data? This is what typically your questions will be, or anybody who is subscribing for this application will be. So the first thing is that we have our own servers. Zoho has our own servers, and we have got multi-layered security system. It is accessibility. So if who is going to access, no one knows. It is completely kept secret, and we will have this biometrics, and the location itself will be unknown to many people, and many people outside, and we will have dual factor authentication, permissions, and all those things. And even at some point of time, I was thinking that, see, I'm also new to IT industry. So when I came here, when I heard about this data security, I was thinking that all the data are stored in one server. But later I realized it is not that way. If you take in India itself, we have got two servers. One is in Mumbai and one is in Chennai. So one is in the East Coast, one is in the West Coast. So even if some calamities happens, say a climatic condition, it will not happen. Now, when it rains in thunder in Mumbai, it would not have the same impact in Chennai also at the same time, right? So something happens here, the data will be saved. So, and it is not that I save some data in Chennai and some data in Mumbai. It is not that way. It doesn't work that way. So whatever data is stored here, it is stored there also as a backup. So something happens to this, then your data in microseconds or milliseconds, whatever you call it, the customer will be able to retrieve the data. And whatever data is stored, it's all encrypted. Even if the data center is hacked or stolen, the disk is stolen, I can put it in the layman's language, then since it is encrypted, it is very, very difficult to take it out. So that is the kind of security we have provided. And at Zoho, we have our own data servers. Our own data centers. We have not hired from outside. So whenever you subscribe to some applications or decided to move, you should also consider the security certifications the companies have got, and then what kind of company you are going to associate with, and what application you are going to subscribe. So everything matters. And see, even if you go to internet bank now, all banks data, everything is your account, everything is in cloud only, right? So what is the data for that? You are sending mails, where it is stored? It is also in a server only. So it is all safe. It is we have to know in detail the kind of security certificates they have, and where their data center is, and how they operate. What are all the multi-layered security aspects they considered, everything. And for example, ours is the GDPR compliant company. So we give so many importance to the data security and privacy, which you must have seen the interviews of Sridhar Vembu, our chairman, or any article for that matter. So we give a lot of importance to data privacy and security. So anyone who is genuinely interested in knowing more about this, they can privately come to us and ask, or before subscribing it, you can definitely discuss with our team, consider it, look at from various angles, then see. So absolutely 100% security as far as the data is concerned. I think I have briefed about the data security. If anything more, if you want to know, you can definitely ask. Anyone wants to know.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And Mr. Ramesh,
Yes.
what would you say to people? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ramesh, what would you say to the people who will ask why not to save in premise rather than saving it on a cloud?
Okay, so you are more concerned about having your data inside your office premise, and you want to know why do you want it in the cloud. So you want a justification for that, is it?
Yep.
Okay. So for that, okay, let me ask you a few questions so that I myself, as well as the audience and also the panelists, will get the answer for that. So I will let you back.
Yeah.
Let me give you a scenario, Priyank. Let me give you scenario. Assume that you are a businessman. You are obviously, assume that you are a businessman and I'm your customer. Okay.
Yeah.
So you made a business out of me. And firstly, you earn 100 rupees from me, which means I give you 100 rupees to you. Okay. We split it into
Okay.
three. Okay. We split the scenario into three. First thing, I give you 100 rupees. Where will you keep this 100 rupees, Priya?
In my pocket or wallet?
Okay, you will have it in your pocket or wallet. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next, again with the same business use case, I give you 1 lakh rupees. Okay, 1 lakh rupees. Where will you keep it, Priya?
In house, under the bed, over the roof, or in the locker?
Okay. Okay, if it is accounted, probably you'll in the locker. If it is not accounted, under your bed. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Now I'm asking you this question. If I give
Yeah,
you
yeah.
1 crore or 50 lakhs, okay, 50 lakhs of business, you have that in your hand. Where will you keep it, Priya?
Of course, I'll go to bank.
Okay. Why not in your premise?
It's a huge amount. Like,
You felt, Priyank, you told that my house is safe, my premise is safe. I wanted to secure it over there. Now, if the value increases, you are cleverly thinking that you will have to put it in the bank because you're scared that it will be stolen from your house, right or not? Agree to it. Okay,
yes,
be
yes,
honest.
I'm agreeing. Yes, I'm agreeing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you think
that
that
is completely right. That I will have fear for that thing.
yeah. So banks have the expertise in securing your money. Okay. Extrapolate
Yeah.
the same example now. Your data is also valuable. So you will have to have it inside your premise. The security of that is restricted only to you. Whereas we have the expertise in securing your data. You give it to us now. We are being paid for securing your data. We will handle it. We have the firewalls, advanced technologies in handling all of these. If your money is safer in banks, your data is safer in cloud. As simple as that. Hope I have answered the question.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to add one more
Yeah.
thing.
Yes, sir.
You have
Yes.
asked a question like first you are talking about 100 rupees, second time it is 1 lakh, and third time it is 100. So my 1 crore. So my question is, if you keep on getting 100, 500 rupees on a daily basis, at one point of time its house will be full, right? So how we will get the extra space for that? Who will give that space?
Then Priyank will think about expanding his business, investing a
Yes.
huge amount in the infrastructure. Are
Even
you
in,
Priyank put it in the cloud, or still you will have it inside your premise itself?
Of course, I'll put it in cloud if it's huge.
Okay, thank you.
Would say not
see,
only
Priyank, not far off.
Hello.
Like
Sir, can you speak once again?
saying not only if it's huge, one day it is going to be huge. So from the beginning, you should put it in.
Of course, yes. If
The whole thing is lost.
हाँ स्टार्टिंग से ही रख दूंगा ना, अगर पता चल गया है कि इतना ग्रो है तो स्टार्टिंग से ही आई विल कीप इन क्लाउड rather than keeping it at home or in.
And we cannot see
some
you.
interrupt. Yes, yes, yes. Priyank, am I
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible. Yes, sir.
There is one interesting thing which you should note here is like, even the clients have started, showing concern over their data security.
Yeah.
Whether it is safe with the accountant, that kind of thing.
Oh, yes, sir.
They
Yes, sir. Yes.
data, right? It should not be leaked. So the days are not far of that. In probably everyone in the business community will start thinking about it. So we are in the early stage.
I think there are few questions coming up from the audience. So we can actually give the audience the chance to ask.
Yeah, we can take up the Q&A session. So there is a question. Can you give some 5 points of Zoho books, which is clear differentiator above latest Tally version launched? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so there's a question.
I think what
Hello.
yeah, Priya, Tally was answering this question. Ramesh can answer it. So one thing which I am aware of is basically Tally and Zoho are completely different type of softwares. Like Tally was an enterprise software, and now they have come up with a cloud version. So what I understand, since I have used both, what I have seen is for Tally you need to purchase a server space. So it is not similar to Zoho, wherein you get your own login ID. You can log in from any computer or any system. Like you need not download any application. You did not call the IT person or save or configure your software on your system. But when it comes to Tally, you actually have to save it on your laptop or your system. Only then you will be able to have that configured. So this is the one biggest difference which is there in the latest version of Tally is launched. The cloud Tally Prime which is launched recently. So this I can say. But there are many differentiators. But let us just.
Finally, we have a document which shows the difference between Tally and Zoho itself. Probably, if they can post their email ID, we can have this shared to them. So, insisting what is the different, I mean, it is like Tally and Zoho as a differentiated document. We can show that, but if you want to quote strong points on that, this connected banking, payment integrations, with Uber integrations, or any other, with regards to your accountability, right? So automation of your accounting, your users and roles customization, also access that you get globally without any restriction, the cloud technology, anytime, anywhere access. So all of these can be important differentiators as a key point which could differentiate Zoho Books and Tally. We ideally don't want to, because see, I am just restricting myself. I'll tell you the honest reason. I really don't want to debate on the topic or show a literal comparison between Tally and Zoho. Ethically, I find it not to discuss in open forums. But if you really have that curiosity to know what exactly is the difference, no, I can help you out. Just share your email ID alone. I will have the actual differentiator document being shared to you.
I think we should actually correct me, Ramesh, if I'm wrong, because I think you must have come across information on collaborating online. That is something which is not possible, because though they are talking that it is in cloud, but simultaneously accessing that this thing, it is not possible. See, for example, if a chartered accountant and the client has to log in simultaneously, and both of them have to, for online collaboration, for online collaboration, they both have to sign in at the same time, I believe. Whereas in Zoho, you don't require. You log in at 4 o'clock and do whatever necessary posting you want to do. And I think my client can log in at 5 o'clock also. So I think you must have come across, Tanvi, corrected me, because this is one piece of information which is given by a person who is using this desktop software only. And the second thing is that we are only now talking about the comparison with accounting software to accounting software. So we are still closed there. What I'm saying is we have to go a little open. So whether I will be able to integrate tomorrow, if I have to install a CRM in our company, is it possible? Is it possible to integrate that with this desktop software? That is the kind of thing. An expense module, a payroll module, or an inventory module, or an e-commerce. Now everyone is moving on to e-commerce atmosphere. Like, so is that that integration is possible? This is what we need to think, instead of restricting ourselves only to journal entries and trial balance.
So adding to Narayanan's point, no, see, you can go to the extent of automating your bank reconciliation process itself in Zoho. I don't think with any of the desktop solutions you'll be able to do that. So here, accounting to get you through a simplified justification, no. Here in Zoho Books, accounting happens with AI and ML. So we use artificial intelligence and machine learning in order to handle your accounting. So that's actually the difference. Okay. So though there are multiple things which could be highlighted, if you see the interface itself, you will find the difference. Like what sort of analytics we deal with, how is the graphics involved, and it can never match with any of the traditional systems. So I would suggest you get to have, you flirt with the product, you get to know the product, you play around, so you will get to know what exactly is the difference. So from this point of the user experience itself, you will find what are the difference. Because if I'm talking about difference, I can speak on and on and on. So that's the reason why I told you I can share you the actual differentiator document itself to you. I hope the question is answered.
You want to take other questions? Yeah. So there was one question, very good question, that whether there is any report or any functionality which gives a log of each details, like transaction needed to update, so whether there is a report or how can we check?
Yes, we do have exception reports. We have activity logs. Okay, so this will define whatever has been done in the organization. So any activity will be tracked. We have specific exception reports also. And though we have 65 plus reports incorporated in Zoho Books as a tool per se, you also have options to customize the reports also. So as far as customizations, I will again differentiate that into two. Minimal customizations, you will be able to do it from within the accounting system itself. How do you want this report to be, what role to be included, what all the accounts to be included, everything you can configure it or customize it from accounting system itself, that is Zoho Books itself. But if you still go a step higher, assume that you are going to collaborate or get a particular report and you want to customize the report as a whole, clubbing data not only from Zoho Books, not only from Tally, from different third-party sources, and club it as an individual report. Okay? So even this can be made possible with Zoho if you are integrating that with Zoho Analytics, which is meant for customizing the reports. So that's why I told you, if you are expanding your scope of business, if you're scaling your business process, then obviously you will get more options in cloud solutions, where you get, whether it is the capacity or your storage or your functionality or your operations, you'll be able to scale it based on your preference and requirement.
So there is one more question. First thing is appreciate the Zoho Books. To know about 6 months, what is the roadmap? What few crucial new functionalities are going to come up?
So I would like to answer that.
Yeah.
Yes,
One sentence, you will be always on the latest.
always on the latest.
You leave it to us. You don't have to worry about that. We will ensure that you are always on the latest.
So how easy is Zoho Books?
We have another question, like how easy Zoho Books are for credit control, like setting up bulk customer accounts, setting payment terms, and even on overdue invoices, issuing a final demand of letter or prior legal notices to customer.
Okay, for credit controls, you do have options to set up the credit control both for your customers as well as your vendors. So again, this could be differentiated. Like the system will ask you whether you want to restrict the transaction itself from creating it if the credit limit has crossed, or you want to just throw a warning message alone and then proceed with the transaction. So in this way, you will be able to do that. And how to set up bulk customer accounts. See, let's say you have different customers. Okay, you can handle it in multiple ways. For example, we have one person asked how to handle what are all the new features that are coming. Honestly speaking, we have 100 updates getting live on a daily basis. I'm not supposed to share this, but still, we have hundreds of updates getting updated. What you see as a product today will not be the product tomorrow. I can vouch for this. I can also challenge you for this. First thing. Secondly, bulk customers account, you will be in a position to club all of the accounts, irrespective of whether they have different GSTNs or not. You will be able to categorize it categorize them as different accounts is under a single customer, or you can use the reporting tags to club them and generate the reports for that. Okay, and payment terms, setting payment terms, you will be able to do it at the customer master itself. So whenever you're creating a particular customer or a vendor, you will be defining the default payment term for them. However, you have options to override it on the transaction level also, and you can send reminders for all the overdue invoices. It is not just you are going to set it up for each and every customer. Okay, you set a master level, a simple level uh, uh, reminder stating that I want a reminder to be set for all my overdue invoices 2 days or on the date, on the due date, or 2 days after the due date, whatever it is, you can define it. So for all of your transactions, just before the due date or on the due date, based on whatever you have set, the reminders will be triggered to them. And if you want any demand letters or legal notices to the customer, you have an option called as document section in Zoho Books, where you can have all of your legal agreements, your contracts, whatever it is, which you will have to upload it or attach it with all your transactions. So let's say there is an invoice and you want to attach a legal notice or anything with that, you can directly do that. You can add up to 10 files. I think more than 10 you won't be adding. 10 files, each of 5 MB size. You'll be able to attach it with one single invoice. Okay, I think with all those functionalities, you can handle all of the questions that you have raised right now like a breeze.
All right. So I think this solves your doubt.
There's one question which I would like to ask, because I think it's point with the discussions. Like as an entrepreneur, there are so many accountants working on the accounting systems and the ERPs. As an entrepreneur, it is very important for them to have an overview of the whole business. So how can an entrepreneur get the overview of the whole business using Zoho? So Narayan, I think you can answer this question. Overview of the...
See, yes. I would like to answer like this. I am not just going to talk about one application, which is Zoho Books. If you consider only your accounting software, then you have 50 plus reports which will be generated instantly and which will give an idea as to where its business stands. So most of the time, the entrepreneurs will be on the move. Unlike in the olden days, entrepreneur need not come back to office, sit in his seat and look for go through various files to understand where his business stands. And there are so many things which is attached to it. And we have a lot of visibility. The products will give you a lot of visibility across business functions. For example, the activities overall, the overview of activities that can be seen through the dashboard. And if you like to know about sales and receivables, then that is available on a click of a button. And your custom analytics dashboard, which can be seen, and risk dashboard. I'm talking about your receivables, and probably if you talk about inventory, it can fetch data of unsold stocks, whether the right pricing, the right kind of inventory is maintained, whether we are bleeding in particular warehouse. So there are so many things. The task dashboard, whether the task is completed on a particular day. See, there has to be a deadline for everything, right? So whether it is internal or external, so for both has to have a timeline. So we can track those timelines, and whether the complete revenue is collected, the sales overview, and you can have your pipeline histories. Everything can be watched. So only thing that you have to consider the right applications for your business. See, there is not a direct comparison between a company which generates a 5 crore turnover and 100 crore turnover. So you have to really work on what kind of module you really want to incorporate. What is the kind of data that you would like to see on a daily basis, which will help you in ensuring that your bottom line is not hit. So that is what generally the entrepreneurs will be. So adopting this technology, these applications, implementation of this application will certainly going to help them in have a quick understanding of all these things on a real-time basis. And there are so many things which can be automated also. Suppose if you want to have your daily sales report on your mobile at 8 o'clock, then you automate that. You receive an SMS or receive that report at 8 o'clock in your mobile. You don't have to go to office. And typically it avoids the culture of, going to office at 9 o'clock and coming back at evening 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You can have a well-balanced life. That is also going to be an advantage if you adopt technology. Yes, Priyank.
So, anyone have any other questions? Please ask. We are waiting.
Any question? Want to use it? You can just which will.
Can we just a quick question? This attendees are all accountants, or there are business owners as well?
It's a mix, like not only accountants, but be entrepreneurs. So the mix.
So there is a reason why I asked this question. Probably I will touch upon that point also, if you permit me. So see, in India, the total SME market size is around 42.5 million, right? And the interesting fact is that 95% of the industrial units are in the country. The 95, it is actually 95% of the industrial units are falling into SME category only, and it is growing by 10% year on year. So this is the data which I have taken. So one thing, see, I am talking about the registered and unregistered entities put together, right? But the challenges what these people are facing now is like, one is that adopting technology. Second is lack of access to technology. And they are absolutely clueless as to where they want to become in 5 years down the line, 4 years down the line, or 10 years down the line. And where will they procure money and to expand their business? What is the source of money? And absolutely no proper guidance on government schemes. So why I am talking about this here is like leveraging technology. See, one is that today, if you take, unfortunately in India, the accountant is taking care of the client's job also. Like client or the business owners or small businessmen thinking that everything is accountant's job. So they give, you must have experience, they give a bunch of bills or invoices or vouchers on 19th and ask you to file a GST return, right? Let me be, this is what my experience. So what I urge you to do that is not how you should be looking at it at an accountant. Accountant has to move from an accountant shoe to a consultant shoes. So they have to be consultants. So how you will be helping an accountant or chartered accountant will help an SME to grow is this was what the basic discussion they should have with the chartered accountant, and not giving them vouchers to do manual data entry. So if I am an SME, if I have a startup, then I will be discussing with Tanvi being a chartered accountant. And if you are handling my accounts, then the first thing I will come to whether I am, the compliance is enough, I am compliant, and my process in my company is enough, whether I have adopted the right kind of technology. If I have not adopted, can you suggest something to me? 5 years down the line, from a turnover of 5 crores, I have to move to 250 crores or 125 crores. Or 10 years down the line, I should have a pan-India presence or a global presence. So these are all the things which I will be consulting with a chartered accountants. And all government schemes, where will I procure? People in government, how do I know? Because chartered accountants, basically, they track all these things on a daily basis, right? So even before I come to know about audit trail, some chartered accountant will follow what is forwarded an article on what is audit trail. So that they have that quick access to information, right? So basically, I urge you to I urge the business community to consider chartered accountant as a consultant only, and not use them for manual data entry operation. So I'm being very honest with you in sharing these things. So, and we have to help the SME sector grow, and which we are absolutely doing. We have to help them leverage technology by suggesting right kind of applications and help them run the application, run the operations smoothly. And whatever we were discussing about the real-time data, so they should be able to have it in their fingertips on a daily basis. I am done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I think we don't have questions, so we can conclude the session. Thank you so much for being there and making it successful and making it knowledgeable session for every one of us here. And before concluding, we have an announcement to make. Tomorrow there is a Zoho Book Championship, complimentary online test from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I hope to see you, all of you there. So it's a complimentary test, but if you give it, you will be able to know it better, that how much you have gained knowledge, what all you need to do. You can even have doubts after giving that test, and you can then ping, like Ramesh sir said, you can ping them, even you can ping us for that. So it's been a great session. It's been a great knowledgeable experience here. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Priyank. Thank you, Tanvi.
Thank you,
for the
Narayan.
opportunity.
Thank you, Priya.
Thank you, Ramesh. Goodbye.
Good evening.
Yeah. Hasta la vista.